Pinpoint Weather on NBC5 News is brought to you by the Cow Creek Umpqua Tribe.
Hey, welcome back to NBC5. We've had a beautiful sunrise for this Monday morning. We're looking at Mount Shasta. We've had a little bit of some clouds out there this morning. Not expecting any rain or any storms for most of our area here today. There is a very low potential of that out into our eastern counties. It is very mild. We got some 60s and 70s here in the valley, even some 60s stretching all the way up towards Seattle. Right now it's 62 degrees. Not a huge difference unless you're a little bit further south. Look at Vegas and Phoenix this morning, around 90 degrees, and you see still some 70s out there into our eastern counties. So not a huge difference from Medford all the way out to Kansas. Of course, they've had some sunshine a little bit earlier through today as our sunrise is just happening across our area. When we're getting through today, a lot of heat across the nation, a lot of 90s, and yes, even triple digits. 114 for Vegas, 109 in Phoenix, and you got upper 80s and 90s across much of the U.S. Summer is here, folks, and make sure you're taking care of yourself, especially as we're getting into the work week with a stretch of 95+ degree temperatures for a lot of our area. This can wear down on your body, especially with some of the mild mornings, not as much relief from the overnight hours. So make sure you're staying hydrated, find ways to stay cool in this heat. And if you're working out this, take breaks as often as needed to help cool your body off. And it is another week of heat. We're gonna stay around 100 degrees, if not slightly above that through much of this week. We cool off a little bit with some mid-90s. Get the winter coat out, folks, for this weekend. Mid-90s compared to the triple digits. We'll take it, right? When we look at the most consecutive days, we're now 2 days in with the 100+ degree temperatures. Not expecting a stretch by any means with the most consecutive days, which is 10 for 1967 and 1962, both of those tied. Now looking at smoke. Of course, the most active fire within our area is the Butler fire down there in Siskiyou County. That's producing most of the smoke we're going to be seeing for the next several days. Of course, we still have some ongoing fires. Of course, we're still seeing some smoke with those fires. When we're looking at this smoke forecast, this is taking all layers of the atmosphere and seeing what the smoke is expected to do. And yeah, Butler fire producing a lot of smoke that's going to be pushing across the area here for the next couple of days. This doesn't mean dense smoke along the surface. It does still mean a little bit of a haze expected out in the sky, so not as that clear sky as normal. And we get into Wednesday and Tuesday and Wednesday, and you see that smoke still kind of filling in, and that might even continue as we're getting through much of this week. Now, there is that low potential for some isolated storms through this afternoon. This is mainly for Lake and Modoc County. But the rest of our area, we're seeing mostly dry conditions and very dry air. With that northwest wind today keeps those fires very active across our area. And you see a slight breeze through much of this afternoon from the northwest, a little bit breezier for the coastline here for today. We'll see wind speeds dropping off a few miles per hour through the rest of this week. Still slight breeze in the afternoon hours, and there's those expected highs here for the valley. We might breach the 90s and stay into the 90s for Tuesday instead of the triple digits. But if we get another 100-degree day for Tuesday, we could have a stretch of about 5, maybe 6 days of 100+ degree temperatures before we cool down slightly for this weekend. Plenty of sunshine, no signs of rain or relief from the heat. We'll drop off a few more degrees this week for the eastern half of our area with lower to mid 90s, might even stay into some upper 80s as we head into next week, and a bit more wind later this week. Patchy dense smoke with some of the larger fires in Northern California. Again, some smoky, hazy conditions for the next couple of days. Still mild in the morning hours as well, with morning temperatures in the 50s and 60s. Compare that to the coastline, expecting to stay in the 60s for highs, a little bit of some clouds, and mix in with some patchy fog later this week.